This podcast is brought to you in part by Coke, Am First, Buffalo Wild Wings, Southern Immediate Care, Guaranteed Labels, Central State Bank, Sunrise Docks, Banker's Bounty, and Dr. Thomas Dudney. Now, back to Bubba on the Lake.
Hey, it's Bubba, hey, Bubba, Bubba on the lake. This is Bubba, hey, Bubba, Bubba on the lake. Yeah, he's got it going on, gotta come and check this. Talking people, talking places from Bubba's perspective. This is Bubba, hey, Bubba on the lake. Hey, Bubba, yeah, Bubba on the lake. Let's go.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Bubba on the Lake. We're glad to have you along. We want to thank you for being a part of this podcast each and every week. We are having a great time doing it, and we hope that you are enjoying it half as much as we're enjoying putting it together for you. Of course, we're broadcasting from the Meliella studio, and our website is bubbaonthelake.com. And of course, you can reach out and contact us at bubbaonthelake.com. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and all that other stuff so you never miss anything coming from the show. And we have quite a summer lined up of shows and podcasts that I think that you will enjoy. So we appreciate you being there. Today, we're going to introduce you to a very, very special lady. And dare I say, this whole podcast would probably not be going on if it had not been for her many, many years ago. So we're going to go ahead, take a quick break. We want to thank all of these sponsors that make it possible, and we'll be right back and introduce you to a very, very special lady.
You're listening to Bubba. Whoa. Bubba on the Lake.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Another staff meeting. Another push for cross-selling. Another awkward silence. Then Banker Bounty happened. The first referral platform made just for banks. One app that empowers every employee, not just your top producers, to bring in business. No more spreadsheets, no more silos, just clarity, culture, and actual growth in real time. Banker Bounty fixes more than your referral program. It fixes your momentum. Go to bankerbounty.com. Watch the video. Book your free demo. Banker Bounty. Create, manage, and track referrals in real time.
Well, welcome back, and we have got a very special guest here in the Meliella studio today. It is a lady that I owe a debt of gratitude that I don't know how I can ever pay you. The former Sue Green, now Sue Marshall, she is the lady that introduced me to Betty Lou Bussey. Sue, how are you?
I'm doing great, Bill. How are you?
You know, we've wanted to talk to you about this for a long time. And we'll get into that. Let's bring in my better half, Betty. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Can you believe we finally got Sue?
We finally made this happen.
You know, so many times, Sue, over the years we'd be having a special moment, you know, just staring into each other's eyes, and
we do that so often.
Or the sunset, and I said, you know, we need to thank Sue for this moment because she is responsible for this.
Well, I appreciate it. You know,
you did good.
Yeah,
I think I
did.
Way back
good.
in 1983 or 82.
82.
Yeah, that's right.
It was a cold winter night in 1982 as we traveled to Pleasant Valley for a basketball game.
And here I was.
So the setup for this is that Betty and Sue went to Pleasant Valley, and it was a smaller country school that just had opened up at the time.
School.
Yeah, county school, out in the county. And me and your current boyfriend at that time went to the city school, which was Jacksonville High School. And man, I mean, I remember that night because he was just bugging me to death to go to the basketball game. And, you know, we both had basketball. Basketball was big at both schools. And y'all were a smaller school, so you know we didn't play each other directly, but y'all played and we played, and it was usually on different nights. So you know, if you're a high school kid, any reason to go out.
Yes.
Right.
Well, Stephen had called me, and he was just wearing me out, and and I thought, you know, I really didn't want to go, and I don't know what to do. I said, okay, I'll go. So we go, and we see you, and we're having a good time, and you know, we're always cutting up. I mean, we're gonna go, we're gonna have a good time. Mm-hmm. And I remember you saying, I need to get you a girlfriend out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, he actually told me, we need to fix him up with one of your friends, you know. So
I never knew, was it you plotting that or was it him plotting that?
It was him, actually, yeah. He was like, we need to find him a girlfriend, and which one of your friends would be perfect? And
because I think
you had a choice.
He knew
you made a choice.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he knew that if I had a girlfriend, or I thought all along you were the one thinking this, that I would be out there more often, thus he would be out there more often. That was the kind of the scheme of the whole thing,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
That was actually his idea. He would see you more if he had a buddy and
Yeah.
a friend tag on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and we'll just walk through this story as it happened. I remember you telling me, we got to get you a woman out here. And you said, just pick one out. Pick any one out. Any one out, and I'll fix you up.
Well, all right.
And I thought, well, you know, I kind of got it going on. And so, you know.
The white painter's pants.
Yeah,
back
oh,
then.
yeah, absolutely. Probably overalls or something, you know.
Yeah.
And do you remember telling me that? Just pick anybody out.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
And I picked out somebody, and you said they were unavailable.
That's right. Yeah. Choose again. You got to
Yes.
choose again.
You heard that
Choose
right,
again.
folks. I was not first choice. But here
But
I
that's
am.
okay. Look
That's
who
right.
won.
And you even went into, I think because you were afraid it hurt my feelings or a little bit, that you said, oh, well, you know, she's had a boyfriend since kindergarten. I mean, this is a long, I mean, anybody else, we could work that out, you know, but I mean, it's just been long term. And I was looking around, you know, trying to see, and we were looking at the cheerleaders down there because we were up in the top. And I said, well, what about that bouncy blonde down there on the end that's walking on her tiptoes?
Oh, yeah.
Because she was cute.
Yeah, yeah.
And I could tell she had a lot of energy.
A lot of energy.
A lot of energy.
I was like, woo, yeah. Yeah, that's Betty.
See, the dogs even agree.
Oh, yeah. They said, yeah, I'm talking about my mama.
And you said, I can make that happen.
Yeah.
So what did you do then?
So I just asked Betty. And Betty at the time couldn't date.
Yeah.
Should I
was
say that?
14.
Yeah.
Well, you know, my mom knows now. You
Yeah,
know, it's all water under the
hey,
bridge
yeah,
now.
you're,
Yeah.
you know.
Sorry, Mom.
But yeah, so I was like, well,
I'm having to say sorry, Mom, a
she
lot on this podcast. But anyway.
yeah, sorry.
If she survived last
Yeah.
week, she'll make it through anything.
Yeah.
She could spend the night with me and we'll double date. And my mom will cover.
Oh, gosh.
Well, I thought we were just
we were just
visiting.
going to a movie.
Yeah,
it
we
wasn't
weren't doing anything,
It was
yeah.
very, innocent fun. for,
Yeah.
you know, high school folks.
That's right. Just
But
So I forgot what the next event was. It a beauty pageant that I came to shoot pictures for somebody?
Yeah, you came and took pictures. And I don't know if you were there or not.
I was in the beauty pageant.
Okay.
I already knew that Betty was the chosen one and that we were going to try to work this
Chosen
out.
one.
But for some reason, I went and had an eye exam that day, and I had my eyes dilated, which you look strange anyway when you do that. And I think that's the first time I met you.
Well, yeah, just we didn't really meet that night at the ball game. Just maybe in passing. you know, hey,
just kind of.
Yeah, Sue sold you off. That was
Yeah.
it, basically.
Yeah.
So we did talk for a minute at
Yes.
At the pageant. And
Yes.
you took some pictures and all that. So that picture's around here somewhere. I don't know.
And
where,
you did you think I looked weird with my eyes dilated?
well,
Could
I
you
remember
tell?
thinking, what weirdo comes to take pictures that just has his eyes dilated? You know what I mean? I thought, how focused
can he
can
even
you
see?
be? And how can you get your picture focused? So I don't know. But I thought, well, I guess I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
And we've told the story about us dating on the radio before, and probably need to retell that just for the podcast audience. But we hung out some and went to a few places, and then we had an athletic banquet that you invited me to. And
you went to that.
I'm sorry, I went to the athletic
Yes.
banquet.
It was the great lip sync after party.
That's
that he
easy
was
for you to
supposed
say.
be at.
Yeah.
That you missed.
I did. I
You
slept right
apparently
through
fell
it.
asleep. Yeah.
I slept right through it, and there's no excuse, but I did have a reason, and I had to cut. Saturday was
Okay.
cutting grass day.
Here we go.
Okay.
Strike
And-
the violins.
Yeah. Listen, we didn't have a
He
riding
had to
mower.
walk 10 miles.
Yeah, I mean it was. This is one of those stories. This is. So I had to cut our grass with a push mower. We had a huge yard. We had it was on a hill. We had a big ditch. Wonder I still have toes, honestly, as much as I slipped on that hill. And I used to cut with flip flops on. It's brilliant. So and I also had to cut other yards in the neighborhood. My dad made me cut up some other people's yards too. The widows, we had to take care of them. And so I would break at lunch and then go back with a weed eater and do the afternoon. Then I would usually chill for a few minutes, then get a shower, go out, do whatever we were doing. And when I had my cool down, I fell asleep. And when I woke up, it was about 10 o'clock at night. And Betty had already called to chew me out.
And curfew was 11, so
Yeah, it was a done.
you blew it.
It was
And
a done
it was a
deal.
strict curfew at my
Yeah.
house too. Yeah,
Yeah,
I did,
it was.
I abided by that.
Yeah. Well, mine was too, because Bodie Bussey didn't play no games.
Yeah.
I remember telling him that I needed more time because things, I didn't have enough time when I go out. He
You
said,
had too many chores.
he said, start earlier.
Start early.
He said, you can leave at 3 in the afternoon. I don't care. I said, yeah, but nobody else is. There's nobody out there.
Yeah.
So anyway, Betty got mad. We didn't talk for a long time. And we ran into each other a couple of times.
Yeah, you did. And bless your heart, you chose a perm for some reason back in the 80s.
She
Why
always
did
brings
men-
that up. Always.
I mean, you had that
I'd like for this to
party
be
in
a
the
sweet
back,
story,
business in
you know.
the front, bless your heart.
Curly hair.
Yeah.
Betty's like, what?
Dodge that. No, just kidding.
So, and I saw you at the blood drive where you passed out.
Yeah, that
And
was
I
even
caught you
in college,
and kept
when I
you
was in
from
college.
from hitting your head on the ground.
You did. That was very nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. I really did it because I wanted your cookie and you wasn't eating it fast enough.
I know you did.
And I saw you at 2 or 3 events at college. You know, I remember.
I'd see you in the parking lot going into
Yeah.
the Stone Center, whatever, to
Yeah.
take whatever history.
And then you actually dated a friend of mine for a while, and I
Yeah,
saw
briefly.
you coming over to their house.
That was in high school, though.
Well, I'm just talking about in general,
Yeah.
the whole deal in
Skipping
between.
around, okay.
And then I ran into you at a remote at Movie Gallery.
Right.
It's back when people rented movies. And I know some of you have no idea what that is now.
Yeah.
But that was a big thing on Friday to
Oh,
go
it
and
was.
get your arm full of movies for the weekend.
All the time.
And you had to be
yeah.
you had to be kind and rewind.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So after that evening, it's pretty funny. Betty was engaged at the time, and
We don't have to go into that again.
and what do you want to wrap up here? All of a sudden? Oh, you want to focus on Sue's part?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
Well, we probably need to finish that whole story at some point. But you handed me a phone number, and I tried to call you. I thought mixed messages here because I just saw she's wearing an engagement ring, you know. But look, engaged is not married. Let's be clear, okay?
It's true. True.
And she gave me a number, and I tried to call it, and it was the wrong number. It's some old lady. And she was very tired of me calling, asking for Betty. I mean, she was getting mad at one point. So I thought, well, Betty is still mad about that high school thing.
did not
I'm still
mean to do
mad
that.
about
I
it.
really
I cannot believe it.
She
so-
gave you the wrong number on purpose.
That's what I thought.
And I really didn't.
So it was
I'm
about,
just goofy.
I think it was about I think it was about Friday the week after that, she calls me and says, "Why haven't you called?" And I said, "I tried, but it was the wrong number. And some old lady's really tired of me trying." She said, "That's not the wrong number." And I read it back to her because I still had it on my desk. She said, "That ain't my number." I said, I know. And she said, "Why don't we go see a movie?"
Well,
Again.
you gotta love the confidence that I had to just call and say, "Why hadn't you called?" Because I knew he would.
I mean,
What's the deal?
Oh, me.
He's been calling an old woman.
That's right.
so we went out, and you want to pick up there that you were in the process of breaking that engagement off.
What do you want me to say about it?
Well, I mean, do you just want to repeat that? So they can hear it from you?
I was in the process of trying to part ways or whatever. And, sometimes when somebody lives out of town and they go back home for spring break, you know what I mean? And they didn't take no for an answer. You're like in limbo over here. I'm like, well, I'm not really engaged in my mind. You know what I mean? But I guess they kind of think they are. So anyway, it was unfortunate chain of events.
The timing was a little off.
Yeah,
but
it all's well that ends well.
Well,
you
that's
know what I
right.
mean? They're
That's right.
happy. I'm happy. Everybody's
That's,
So
right. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
we
that's all
we
that
went
matters.
out, and I told Betty at the end of the first date, I said, "I'm gonna marry you," because she was so much fun.
Oh yeah,
She is.
And that kind of weirded me out though, because I'm like, now what psychic stuff is he doing, pulling on me? You know.
So guys,
I thought,
that's
okay.
one thing, they can be spooked. Probably jump the gun there a little bit. But we had such a good time. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
We laughed
did.
and cut up just like we do now.
Yeah.
She was always a lot of fun. Always.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Bring
then
the party.
yeah,
Always laughing. Always moving 90 to nothing.
always
Yeah.
happy,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So I thought, wow, I could use that in my life. And
Everyone can use that in their life.
Yeah.
Right?
we dated for a while, and I think you thought we were getting too serious at that
Well,
point,
too
right?
quick,
Too
yeah.
quick.
Because let's face it, I'd just been engaged. I'm like,
Engaged again. A week later.
She's collecting rings, you know, like you do if you go through the drive-through when they give the little toy. Oh, I got the whole set.
I got all those Arby's glasses.
And you,
too.
what,
I had a lot of beef and cheddars.
what was it you told me? You said you think we need to break up.
For a minute. I said, let's just pump the brakes for a minute. You know what I mean? And
I
just
think you said
still
break
date.
up.
Yeah, well, whatever. I meant not break up, but just kind of slow things down here. You're going nuts all of a sudden, you know, and you go, what is it? Takes two to go together.
I think it was,
Two to
you know,
break up. And I don't want to break up.
so
or something like that.
we're all, you know, what we are is a series of choices we make in life.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and they're A, B.
Yeah.
And sometimes C is not an option. You have to pick an A or a B. And then you look back and you go, wow, this is a whole series. This is how I ended up here. Well, I was kind of put on the spot. I was caught a little off guard because I thought she was having a good time too. And I think it was probably one of my greatest moments. I said, Betty, it takes two to go together, that's what we used to call it. You know, it takes two to break up. I don't want to break up. I'll see you tomorrow night.
There you go.
And
there you go.
she looked at me and tilted her head, you know, kind of like how an Irish setter will do when they don't understand.
Thanks. Comparing me to the Irish setter of the world. Yeah. Oh, poor Ruth.
And
I'm
of course,
sorry.
the next night we went out. And we kept dating and eventually got
We did get
engaged,
engaged,
after
yeah.
Betty was pressuring me.
Yeah.
Then she had her foot on the
Yeah,
gas.
that's a whole new story. Yeah. I was in nursing school and I was either going to stay in the Jacksonville area and do nursing or move, you know, Birmingham, wherever, and that paid a little better for nurses. And a lot of the people I was graduating with were doing that. So I'm like, well, I guess I got to know what the deal is here. Am I getting married? Am I going to work? You know, what are we doing here? Or both, you know? Yeah. And so I just kind of needed to know.
She was putting the heat on,
Yep.
trying to close the deal. And she did.
Yep.
babe.
How many
And-
years later?
It'll be
36.
36 this summer if
Wow.
we make it that
August
far.
12th. Yeah.
Oh, you will.
God willing.
So, Sue, you lit the fuse on all that. And so I don't know how I can thank you for giving me the greatest gift on planet Earth.
Well,
this
y'all-
godly
hey,
wife of
y'all have
mine.
invited us to your beautiful home, and we so appreciate. My husband and I have enjoyed it, and it's a beautiful view, and it's been great getting back.
You know, we probably should have done that. Oh, I don't know, 10, 15 years
Yeah,
ago.
probably, but it's okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, hey, we're doing it now.
That's right.
That's all that
Make
matters.
up for lost time.
That's right. That's
So
right.
we're going to take a quick break. Come back. I want to talk more about Betty in high school, and
okay.
I have a list of questions that my kids have sent, and they want honest answers. And they,
Oh, no.
Caitlin feels like for some reason people are not being honest with her on how we were when we were kids. I don't know why.
I don't know either.
So we'll be right back with Sue Marshall. You're listening to Bubba on the Lake.
It's Bubba on the Lake. Bubba on the Lake.
You know one thing I love about Buffalo Wild Wings? You can get wings with any of their 26 sauces and dry rubs for takeout and delivery. That's like bringing an entire B-dubs home with you, which you can't do. I tried. I've knocked down so many walls, only to then be told to halt construction because I'm not zoned to be a sports bar. Kinda just looks like a big pergola or something because of the lack of walls. At least these 26 sauces and dry rubs are available to go. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
Just got that new boat? Let Sunrise Docks protect your investment with Swift Shield boat covers, Neptune boat lifts, and easy ports for your personal watercraft. Plus, they have composite decking that stays cool, designed with your feet in mind. Sunrise Docks is always first in quality, first in service, and first in customer satisfaction. Right off Highway 63, your Lake Martin headquarters, with 2 barges and the most experienced boat lift crew on the lake. Sunrise Docks is your lake life expert. Call 256-392-5200.
I am so happy to announce that our family dentist, Dr. Thomas Dudney, has joined my podcast as a sponsor. My entire family have been patients of Dr. Dudney and his team for over 20 years. Now, I'm going to be telling you a lot more about all of his services and what he does, but I have to tell you, the veneers that he gave me changed my life. I had no idea how big an impact that would have. You can call him today at 205-663-6545 or visit them at thomasdudney.com and find out more. Welcome back. We're visiting with Sue Marshall, the lady who we credit with introducing me and Betty. Sue, welcome back again. We're so glad to have you and Bill here.
We're happy to be here.
So, Sue, let's go back to the beginning. You're part of this in high school. Betty was a cheerleader. Now, you were not, but y'all were friends, right?
Yes. I moved to Pleasant Valley the summer before we started 9th grade. So I knew nobody. And she was one of the first ones that just hopped over there.
She really does. She hopped when she walked.
Yeah. And she said, "Hey, I'm Betty." And that's how it started. And I tried to try out for cheerleading, but no.
But you were an athlete, though.
Yeah.
I was an athlete. I played basketball, and I was in the band.
And
I was actually the first drum major.
Really?
Of the band.
I
Yeah.
forgot about
Well, I knew
that.
you were a pretty good basketball player. What position did you play?
I played forward and center. So,
Oh, wow. Down in the paint, huh?
yeah.
Back before the 3.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Back
It was
before
fun.
the
It was
three.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun times.
I
What'd you
think
play
we
in the band?
actually-
I played the trumpet. Yeah.
I think
But-
we cheered for y'all too, didn't we? Didn't we cheer for the girls and the boys?
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure
yeah.
we did.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So here we were.
So we all went all to the ball games together and
Yeah.
everything. Rode the bus together and all
Yeah.
that. So, yeah, we had fun times.
Yeah, it was fun. I still think of you every time I eat a Girl Scout cookie. We
There you
ate
go.
so many- I told you that yesterday.
Yes.
You know how different things, flavors, or smells will make you think of
Think of
something or
stuff,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jergens lotion and Girl Scout cookies.
There you go.
I
Yeah.
always think
Do we need to expand on that a little bit?
I won't get started on the Joe Von Muskell with you. Good Lord.
I got a fresh bottle.
Oh,
in there.
I know. I saw it. I thought, please, Lord, I thought we got rid of that.
I'm gonna spray a little of that for old
I thought they
time's
quit
sake.
making it. We'll have every deer in the county out here in the yard.
Well, the rumor was it had deer hormones in it. That's why Betty was, she was drawn to it. She had no choice.
Sure. It's just a natural instinct.
Do you know?
to be
I
drawn.
look back now. We kind of had it made in high school and didn't know it, did we?
Oh, in the 80s? What a great.
You mean wait a minute, the greatest decade mankind's ever seen?
Great.
I mean, no cell phones,
Yeah. Yeah, I had to go to a payphone to call mom and say, hey, we're going to be a
Yeah,
little
I
late.
know, yeah.
Now our kids now,
Or I couldn't call because I didn't have a phone.
Yeah.
they panicked at the idea of no cell phone, but also,
So much better.
well,
Yeah.
nobody could prove you did anything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There
social
was
media,
plausible deniability
everybody-
in that.
How
you
many likes do I get? Whatever.
All
You
that
know,
crap.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
None of it
That's
matters.
awful.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Not
None
in the
of it
grand
matters.
scheme of things, for sure.
So, Sue, I asked my kids.
Although, please like the podcast. Bubba,
Yes, yeah.
That's right.
It is a different world now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please subscribe and like.
Hunter and Caitlin couldn't be here today, but I asked the kids if there was any questions they wanted to ask you about Betty in high school. Now, of course, Hunter has not sent one question, and Caitlin has sent a page full. Okay, so Caitlin's first question to you, Sue, about Betty: was she as funny as she is now in high school?
Oh, gosh. Yes, for sure. For sure. She's just, that's how she has always been, as long as I've known her. And I've known her since 9th grade. So, yeah.
Did mom, this is from Caitlin, did mom have a lot of boyfriends?
Well, I mean,
No more than anybody else.
yeah, exactly.
Boyfriends. It was
No
the
more than
80s.
anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, babe. Yeah.
Well, I knew several of them.
Yeah.
She was very liked
Yeah.
by,
Why wouldn't you? What is not to like about her?
Exactly. for
She's
sure.
beautiful. She's blonde. She's funny. She walks on her tiptoes. I mean, who doesn't love that?
She laughs all the time.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
If you laugh, you're an
great.
easy target. That's a high score with me. I need somebody to build up my humor ego. That's for sure.
Well, 30-something years,
Yeah, it's built up.
I think she's succeeded.
Yeah, that's right. That old
So-
ego's built up.
So the next question is: I want to know everything, which is not a question. What did her teachers think about her? What did other parents think about her?
Oh, all the teachers loved her.
Well, I should have got my yearbook out for that one. I could have read you
Yeah.
couple of the
they
lines
were.
from-
Now me, not so much, but Betty, yeah.
Were you
Okay,
were
to
you in
this
trouble?
day.
I was never
No,
in trouble.
she wasn't in
no.
trouble.
It just,
And it was just one. Our English teacher
yeah,
hated you.
I
I
don't know what I did to her.
I don't
The first,
either.
she was my homeroom
The
teacher.
rest of them liked you.
Yeah, the first day I went to Pleasant Valley. She was my homeroom teacher.
Oh my!
And
What did you do,
I
Sue?
didn't do
Was
nothing.
I in that
I just
homeroom
sat
too? I
there,
don't remember.
and she just.
And when how I know?
I don't
yeah.
know. I don't
And
know
she
if it
could
was
get
my
on
last. I don't know if it was my
Yeah.
last name.
No, because there was a lot of greens.
I don't know.
Yeah, I started to say that whole
Green was
neighborhood
a
was
very-
full of greens.
Yeah,
you know?
it sure
Yeah,
was.
so
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, didn't go well for me for 4 years with her. But hey, I got through it.
You got
and
through it,
Yeah.
yeah.
But everybody else you got along with.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
All the teachers were nice.
Yeah, they were all
too.
good. Good teachers.
Pleasant Valley was blessed to have our teachers in that community. I feel like, you know what I mean.
Oh,
Looking
yeah.
back.
And you were an office aide.
Oh yeah, I was an office aide, a teacher aide at some point.
And our senior year, that's all I was. I was like, I took PE with the 8th graders.
Yes.
I was an office aide. I was a teacher aide. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
My senior year was a breeze. I was like,
Well, you were the center on the basketball team.
I
No
didn't
wonder.
have to do anything, just.
We're doing hand motions here. What do we do?
So I'm confused here. What are we?
Never mind.
What does this mean?
Let's go on.
I was gonna. Do you remember? Every now and then they would let me do the intercom thing and say something over the intercom.
Yeah, all the
And,
little morning.
We were playing. I guess the announcements were we were playing Alabama School for the Deaf or whatever that Friday or whatever, and I accidentally announced we were playing the Alabama School for the Dead. And I thought Juanita Whiten or whatever, she was the secretary. She was about to pop. Mr. Wiggly comes out of his, office, the principal.
So
and I'm like, what?
What did
I didn't know what I did. I just mispronounced that one. So
Alabama School for the Dead.
Yeah, that'd been a tough game right there. We'd have won that one.
Yeah.
That would have been a forfeit.
All right, I want to be clear.
Quick announcement, we've already won. Anyway.
This podcast has not been in the wine before we started. I want to be clear.
No, we
okay?
have not. What time is it? 9 in the morning.
Not yet.
So you also, I know, not only had some PA problems, you also had some typing issues.
Oh, no.
Typing. Oh, how
That's the teacher
That was Miss
that did
White.
not like me. And do you know, I was supposed to type, as the office aide, I was supposed to type the faculty handbook. Back then, they didn't have computers and able to run it off. So I was given the job to type it up. Well, the D and the S are very close on the typewriter. They're just opposite sides, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm typing, whatever. And I think Mr. Burns was supposed to proofread. Somebody proofread it. Well, apparently I typed instead of sick leave. Did you ever hear? Mr. Burns loves to tell this story. And so I'm like, crap. You know what I mean? What do you do then? But Mr. Curry, the math teacher, she was very...
So nobody called to slip
until
up.
the meeting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she raises her hand. Mr. Burns said, Miss McCurry goes, does this leave apply to me? And she's always, we have had a good laugh over that.
Oh, that's funny.
But the typing teacher, she is the one teacher, because I was always rolling somehow over my cord, and it would unplug all the typewriters around me, when I would do that. And I didn't mean to. It just, there wasn't room to move in there,
Yeah. She was very serious.
Yes.
She was like,
Oh.
it's all about.
Oh, yeah.
She was
All
my
about that.
patient. Years later, when I was a nurse, on third shift, I go in there and cut the light on, because I didn't recognize I didn't realize that's who it was until I flicked that light on to do her temperature, blood pressure and all that. She looked at me and said, oh my God.
I know you.
I know. I said, you're not in hell. It's okay.
And don't worry, I'm not going to be doing any typing.
Yeah, I said, I promise I'm not giving you emails.
No typing.
Oh, man. Yep. That is crazy.
I can't believe that it went that far, that somebody didn't proofread that before they said, okay, this is it, and made many, many copies and handed it out in a meeting.
I wish Mr. Burns was on this podcast right now, because he could tell you, he's the one that could probably tell some stories about different
everything.
things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he could. And he's funny. He's a funny guy.
He is funny.
We need to get him on.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You hear that, Mr. Burns? You're next.
The old sick leave.
Yeah.
Betty. God, that's good. I can just see her in that meeting pointing to that book.
I'm sorry. Does this apply to me? Oh, man.
That's funny.
Oh, gosh. So, Sue, what else about Betty do you remember? Or what do you remember about Sue? Let's have some fun with Sue for now.
No, she was very athletic, which I was not. So anyway, I was always, just impressed that you could do all that. Basketball, I could not play an instrument because, our school was new. So they drug everybody.
Tried to get everybody
in the band and
to learn how to play an instrument. Yeah. Just pick one.
Well, I tried 2 or 3, and finally they just said, go back to cheerleading.
Well, that's how y'all used to do me,
gone.
Sue. Just stick with basketball and the band, because you cannot do a cartwheel. I'm like, I know, I can't do it. Yeah, tried, but no.
Oh, man. But like you said, we're always very similar, because neither one of us take things too seriously.
No.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. And even in high school, there was those that kind of did. Everything was life or death, it seemed like for them.
No. I just had fun in school. That's what
I had fun. I tried to make good grades.
You don't have to sell me on that.
But I did have fun.
I went to college for 12 years. You ain't got to tell me. I changed it to tell people it was a decade of learning. 10 years, because nobody believed 12. They thought that's impossible. I go, no, it's not. It's really not.
Well, you know what my dad would say? He was a barber after he retired from the military, and he would tell everybody, my daughter's been a senior for 4 years. Because, they added a grade.
Oh, yeah.
We were
right.
seniors in 9th grade.
That's
then-
right. Yeah, we were the first. What's it called?
The first graduating
class.
Yeah.
The charter class.
Yeah.
Of Pleasant Valley.
And they
High
would just
School.
add, we were seniors for 4 years,
Right. We really were.
Yeah. And my dad would tell people that, and they'd look at him like, well, you
Yeah.
must have a really,
Yeah.
She really enjoys studying.
Yes.
Which it was kind of good in a way, but it wasn't good because we didn't have anything to look up. Like I remember when prom came around, and we were like, "We're supposed to decorate for prom," what I mean? Because normally the juniors would decorate for the seniors and whatever,
So we had to do it all.
did it all. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was funny, and we had no clue
What we were doing. No. We had nobody to.
No,
and had to figure it out.
As a cheerleader, you normally would have the older cheerleaders to kind of, get some thoughts from what to do at a pep rally or whatever. So we just kind of came up with our own thing. Went okay. I mean,
Did good.
Went all right. Yeah,
just run around and
that's
get
right.
all their little.
Well, Sue, we should have had this discussion like decades ago, and I'm embarrassed that we haven't done that. But for some reason, we thought you lived in another state somewhere.
Yeah.
We talked about you a lot, and then Betty said, Sue lives in Jacksonville. I said, what?
Finally,
How did I not run into you somewhere?
I know. I don't know. Well, I just don't get out too much.
Well, I know. Come to find out, she never gets off possum trot.
That's right. That's right. I just hang out on the big valley off of Possum Trot.
If you got everything you need, why leave?
That's
And that's what I'd say.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I don't get off Sundown Ridge much over here either.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
I'd like to stay on Sundown Ridge a little more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I would.
There they
the
are.
dogs like it.
Yeah, they're fired up again. The barkers are at it. So, I wonder because the kids that went to Pleasant Valley would have gone to Jacksonville.
Right.
The majority of them.
Had they not built that school.
And I just wonder if things would have been different if that had happened. Would we have met? Certainly would have met under the same circumstances, but I knew your brother because we played basketball
Yeah,
together.
because he went to Jacksonville.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. He sure did. Yep.
Oh, Bobby.
Who knows?
It
Who
just
knows
meant to
how
work out
yeah,
the way it did.
It did.
Yeah.
And right there, you were right in the middle of it. So
Yeah,
thank
I was
you.
excited because I saw.
High five for you.
Way to go, Sue.
All right.
I mean, you probably would like something nicer than a high five for the gift, but that's all we got.
This has been great. I saw Betty
Meal at Kalijah. I mean,
after we had graduated. I don't know how long it had been.
At that reunion?
And no, I had
okay.
saw you out and you were like, guess who I'm seeing again?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And I was like, she said, Bill. I was like, all right. And then next thing I know, y'all are getting married. I'm like, woo, yeah.
you did it.
Yay.
Did you fix any other people up that got married? Or we the sole?
Pretty much the soul.
We were the top rung on that, huh?
Yep.
The old
That's
top
it.
run.
All right.
I've never fixed
funny.
anybody up that got married. That I
I
can think
fixed
of.
several up that got married.
Have you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm not going to run the list right now. Some of them were through the show.
Oh,
We used to do personal ad shows.
well, yeah.
And we shamed one guy who broke up with his girlfriend to call her, and they ended up married. They've got beautiful kids now. Talked to him the other day, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
It's a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to
yeah.
just call attention to yourself over it all the time, but like I do. But you go, yes, I knew it. I just knew it that was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
One of those moments in time. You never know when you got that AB and you got to make the right call.
That's
yeah,
right.
you don't. The OAB.
We are the sum of our decisions. Well, Sue, anything else we need to cover about your time at Pleasant Valley? You and Betty are ready to get out on the boat.
We're glad to be out. Yeah, we're glad to be out of school. And
Gosh,
this many
that
years
was.
later, I do not want to go back to school, college or high school.
That's not-
But, yeah.
I remember in high school looking from like 5th grade on, just thinking, I'll never get to 12th grade. Never.
Yeah.
And then you get to 12th grade and you have a good year. You're senior, a lot of things, kind of set up to make that a good year. And you get on the other side of Christmas and you start thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? You know, I gotta get a plan here, and I don't have one.
Then it just goes whoosh.
Yes,
Oh, I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, before you know it, you're
in
almost
your
60s.
Yeah. Well, I know.
Or
Yeah, we
over.
are almost
Or
60,
over.
60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, both of y'all look great. Y'all have
thank
aged
you.
well.
Thank
Not
you.
all of us have. Okay.
You look great.
Getting up early will add years. I mean, woo. It's not the model year; it's the miles you've been driven. And I've been run like a taxi most of my life.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Been busting rocks.
I'm gonna call Caitlin to talk about your schedule. That is one of the funniest things she does, by the way.
Oh, Lord.
So just one more check to see if our son ever came up with a question. I think he must be satisfied with what we've had. Still nothing from Hunter.
Hunter bus.
Yep.
Oh, man. He's a
See,
man of
he's
few words.
busy.
We've really enjoyed getting to see you again and your husband Bill, and you ordered him from up north.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
You
came from
ordered him.
Massachusetts. No, New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Yeah. Can't get that from here.
He's a super nice guy, though. How long have y'all been married?
25 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It just goes by so fast.
I know.
I mean, but think about our age now and in high school, how you looked at that age.
Oh, yeah.
I
They're
thought,
going to die at any minute.
I thought,
know.
I thought
thinking-
life was over about 40.
Oh, yeah.
I figured,
Well, I
you're just
remember
hanging
my
on after
parents-
that.
I used-
We're in their 40s, and I thought, wow, they're old. They're
Yeah.
getting old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And shoot.
Yeah.
I don't
Yep,
feel
they're just getting
that
started.
much now, but it's creeping up on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
You got to make the
Just-
most of it.
That's right.
Who knew 50
Enjoy
years
your
later
life.
my mom would still be telling jokes?
Yeah. That's
Oh, man.
your mom has really come out of her shell the last few years.
She's done well. She really has.
How old will she be this year?
94.
Wow.
Has she listened to any of the podcast?
No, she doesn't have a way to listen.
You don't
She
think
doesn't
one of
want-
your sisters would love to throw you under the bus and let her hear some of it? Or Bobby?
Oh, no. Nah, they probably don't.
Well, if she survived last week, this will be a walk through the park.
Oh, she's all right. She'd get a kick out of it.
I mean, what can she do? She can't run you down and spank you
there's
now.
nothing-
That's
No,
right. Yeah.
that's right.
What is she going to do? She can't outrun me now.
Yeah, you hide her walker.
Oh, man.
So, Sue, thank you. Thanks to Bill. Thank y'all for coming over. And
thanks for having
we're going to
us.
try to get in the boat and get a little lake time.
All right.
The
Woo.
wind will die down a little bit. A
excited.
little windy today.
Yeah, it has been
It's
windy.
going to be
and
hard to dock it. It's
rainy.
going to be hard
and,
to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, docking a pontoon in the wind is
look at
I mean, it's
It's a little- it's a
an
little choppy out
exercise
there
in,
right
in
now.
geometry
Yeah.
and physics because not only are you blowing sideways, you're spinning.
Yeah.
Because the back of the boat catches more wind with a canopy on it. So
Yeah, we don't want to do what y'all did.
no, we're not.
We
Listen,
don't want to go Dukes of Hazzard.
no,
Right.
we're no.
Yeah.
I still hear about that everywhere I go. That was a real boneheaded thing for me to do, to go airborne in a pontoon
In a
boat.
pontoon.
They're not designed for that. Honestly, they're not
They
aerodynamic.
make those kind of boats
Yeah,
Yeah, they
special
do. Yeah.
for ramps.
Right.
Yeah,
Not
I
for that
remember
kind of
flying through the air thinking this is bad. Because it's like the cone of silence. You're floating and you're thinking, oh
Yes.
gosh, what just happened? And you're trying to figure out, why am I airborne?
And why are there
And
pillows
it-
going
yeah.
up in
The air. Yeah.
And then about
cushions.
then, the front of the boat is plowing into the water, and you're like, oh, please come back up.
And this coming from Safety Bob. Over
Yeah, I
here,
know.
Mr.
I know. It's
you know,
embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It really
yes.
is. Well, Sue, thank you for being here. Thanks for
Thank
Bill.
you.
And I hope this is not the last time we get to see you
Oh,
guys.
I hope not.
We got to pick the pace up.
Exactly.
Let's not
Let's
make
keep it up.
another 25 years
Yeah.
because chances are I won't be here.
Well, hopefully so.
I don't know. 25's a long time.
Oh, but
I mean,
that's
what
okay.
is that?
Play the
Like
odds
the
there.
Saturday Night Live. That,
Yeah, Debbie Downer.
it's like I went to, what was it? She was like, I went to Disney World and the line was so long, and then I got gangrene or something like that. I mean, and they're like, you know.
Well, we're off on a tangent here.
Yeah,
so
we are.
anyway, Sue, thank you. Betty, thank you. And Sue, I don't know how I can ever repay you for this one right here.
Oh, hey, I'm just happy. Y'all are happy. That's all that matters. It's all about being happy.
It worked out.
That's
It
right.
is.
That's right.
We'll be back in just a minute. You're listening to Bubba on the Lake.
1, 2, 3, 4. We'll be right back.
The perfect checking account does not exist. At least, not at a bank. At AmFirst, you can get no minimum balance or monthly fees, an instant issue debit card, and free checks with unlimited check writing. But who doesn't want more? Like a rewards program you'll actually use, and convenient digital tools that make it easy to manage your account from anywhere. That's what you'll find at AmFirst. Only available for qualifying members. AmFirst is federally insured by the NCUA.
Attention business owners, print buyers, and production managers. Guaranteed Labels is here to help you focus less on your printing, labels, and decals, and more on growing your business. Guaranteed Labels, your dependable printer for all types of industries. Quality, on-time shipments, and stock programs set us apart. If you're needing to focus less on your printing and more on your business, trust Guaranteed Labels. 800-741-7055 or GuaranteedLabels.com. Guaranteed Labels, still sticking since 1988.
When you need urgent care, Southern Immediate Care is here for you. Illness doesn't follow a 9-to-5 schedule, so we offer support 7 days a week at convenient locations throughout Birmingham and Northeast Alabama, dedicated to serving all ages from children to adults. Southern Immediate Care offers occupational medicine services, including DOT physicals and testing. At Southern Immediate Care, your health is our top priority. Visit southernimmediatecare.com or call 205-409-2794.
You're listening to Bubba on the Lake.
Hit me bad.
A production of Intergalactic Pants and Tees.
All rights reserved.
We are back in the Mellow Yellow studio. It is Bubba on the Lake. We want to thank Sue and her husband Bill for coming and spending time with us. They spent several days. We got to catch up and laugh, and we had a great time. So good to hear from them. And how do I ever thank Sue for setting me up with the lovely Betty Lou? You talk about the butterfly effect. If she had not done that, all that we've got going on right now probably would not be happening. I know a couple of kids that wouldn't be around, so we have a lot to thank her for. And it always you always wonder if it was destiny and meant to be. Would the universe have put us back together in some other scenario if that one didn't work out? But I certainly appreciate Sue and everything that she did. We want to remind you that we still have the comment line, 308 Big Lake, 308 Big Lake. Send those on. Love to hear from you on those. And, of course, emails at bubba@bubbaonthelake.com. In this segment here, and as we wrap up this episode, it is with heavy heart that I have to say I lost a long-lost friend this week. His name is Greg Warren. He passed away, and Greg was scheduled to be a guest on this very podcast in a few weeks. Greg has been a friend. He was a few years older than me in high school, but I met Greg when we were all in the big CB craze. He was one of the guys I used to talk to on the CB back in the 70s. He invited me to come up to the college radio station, WLJS 92J, at Jacksonville State University, and see that operation when he was working there in college. And I went up and visited him, and, after we saw everything there and all the flashing lights and all the records and got to hang out and watch him do a little bit of an air shift, I was hooked. I was probably 9th or 10th grade. And that had a tremendous effect on me and the trajectory that I wanted to go. I knew I wanted to be in the radio business. I wanted to be around that. I enjoyed that. And at the time at our college radio station, you had to get in line to get an overnight shift. So we worked on that, and then when we got in college a few years later, we got on the air there, and as they say, the rest is history. So we're going to miss Greg. I had not seen him in a while. He actually worked for me at one point at a little electronics store that I had. So we had several times that we ran together in life, and I thought the world of Greg. Great guy, and we're just going to miss him. We reconnected not too long ago when we were beginning plans for our 50th anniversary at 92J, the college radio station. And he was at the meeting. We got some pictures made. I actually posted them online with me and him and Coach Kelly. and we took a little tour of the new field house there. And I was very much looking forward to seeing him, interviewing him about those early days at the college radio station and everything going on. But sadly, we have lost him. So our thoughts and prayers are with his family in this time. And we just want them to know we love Greg, and he will be deeply missed. We appreciate all of you being part of this podcast. I hope you enjoyed that little walk back through history with me and Betty. And we'll be bringing you more and more as we continue. And we appreciate you being part of it. Remember 308 Big Lake. Keep those comments coming. Keep the emails coming. And as always, we need you to subscribe and turn on notifications. Also follow us on social media, including our Instagram account, Bubba on the Lake, and it will be much appreciated. We thank all of you for being a part of this podcast. And remember, I said it a few weeks ago, I really do believe this. I heard a preacher say it not too long ago. God's greatest blessing and greatest miracle is if you're not praying for a miracle today. Boy, our health and everything, we just take it for granted. But, it's such a blessing each and every day. Let's just be thankful. And I am thankful for you. And we hope to catch you again on Bubba on the Lake.
It's Bubba on the Lake. Bubba on the Lake.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
At Central State Bank, we believe community banking is more than just transactions. It's about relationships. For over 100 years, we've been helping neighbors grow, businesses thrive, and dreams become reality. Because when you bank local, you invest in your community. Central State Bank, large enough to serve you, small enough to know you. Visit us today or learn more at centralstatebank.com. Member FDIC.
This podcast is brought to you in part by Coke, Am First, Buffalo Wild Wings, Southern Immediate Care, Guaranteed Labels, Central State Bank, Sunrise Docks, Banker's Bounty, and Dr. Thomas Dudney.
Rippling waters, the world stops to stare. News and the scores, tech spins on his wheel. National renown, the truth he reveals. From the mellow yellow studio, he sends the sound. Echoes through the nation where legends are found. The lake holds the power, ripples don't lie. Bubba on the airwaves riding that won't die. Late night static, stars hanging low. Every turn of his voice, the world seems to glow. Microphone crackles like fire on stone. Bubba carves the stories, makes the air his throne. From the mellow yellow studio, he sends the sound. Where legends are found. The lake holds the power, ripples don't lie. Bubba on the airwaves riding waves that won't die. Sports, it flies fast, tech churns the tide. News shakes the edge, Bubba reads it wide. Listeners, they gather like moths to his flame. One man's voice rising, never the same. From the mellow yellow studio, he sends the sound. Echoes through the nation where legends are found. The
Here's what you'll find on the latest episode of Bubba on the Lake.
If you could go back and relive one moment from your career, what would it be and why?
I don't know, maybe get a little clearer operating agreement with her last gig on how that would end. That might help a little bit as opposed to a handshake deal.
I want you to elaborate on maybe the friends you have in high places or certain things that you've been awarded for certain work you've done. I remember I went through a phase where I genuinely thought you were maybe a CIA human asset or something.
Oh yeah, we went through that.
None of it made sense.
Well, I probably fed that rumor in your mind
totally
a little
did.
bit just to have fun.
But I mean, having a
trust me. Can I clear the air right here? I'm not a CIA asset. Okay, in no way, no how.
I know you're not James
not
Bond.
Even kinda.
I know that wasn't even a sell at all because physically I don't think we meet the criteria for that one. But
the Bubba on the Lake podcast. Download episodes now at BubbaOnTheLake.com.
Well, I guess that's another episode. Hunter, you want to go get some ice cream?
Hey, let's do it. I'm always down.